We're here with Martin and Robin at Open Road Chats in front of the US Supreme Court. Justices should not have sugar daddies. Please explain, as we would say in Australia.
I love the accent.
I want to know about this 209 days.
I have been protesting since July 1st, most days. This is day 209, and he's here with me today.
I'm a guest
He's
protester.
a guest protester.
Okay.
But my initial thing was I was really frustrated by this, the corruption issue, and I was like, well, I could sit at home and complain, or I could just be a visual presentation of this issue in front of the Supreme Court for an hour a day. This summer, a bunch of stories came out about how Clarence Thomas has been taking $100,000 trips paid for by billionaires for the past 25 years, and also, a billionaire bought his house and rents his mom's house and rents it back to her for free. A billionaire paid for his son's or his nephew's education, who he raised as a son. A billionaire basically bought him a luxurious RV. Yes, and so that's an issue because it keeps him isolated. It keeps him from moderating his views, and it also keeps him from wanting to retire. He basically telegraphed to people that he was going to retire because he didn't make enough money, he thought, as a justice, and then suddenly all these billionaires started giving him these trips and money and everything.
And River, where are you from?
I'm from New Hampshire. I think climate issues are among the most important. I also think that Biden's treatment of the situation in Israel and Palestine is abhorrent, and I think that that's a huge issue facing everyone.
Important issue facing you and yours.
Voting rights, democracy on the line.
From 46 states, a lot of red states, people who are really concerned about this too. The thing about our states are we don't really have red and blue states. So all states have liberals and conservatives in them. And and a lot of the red states is just they're gerrymandered so that a lot of people don't have a voice in those states, and they're really upset, and it's interesting talking to them. And I've talked to a lot of people who didn't know any of the stories about Clarence Thomas, who were open to understanding. I came here for the March for Life. There were thousands and thousands of people, and I didn't talk about abortion with them because these people aren't gonna, they're with their churches, they're not gonna be swayed by a stranger talking to them. But I did talk to them about why they should care about having having corruption issues at the court. I was like, if you agree with the Dobbs decision, then you want people to respect the court. Right now, the court has the lowest respect in history because of these corruption issues. This is why you should care about Clarence Thomas. And a lot of the younger people were open to talking to me. The older people were like, get away from me. But,
They've had years to make their mind up, right? Do you have any Trump supporters in your friend circle or in your family that, over the last few years it's been a little difficult?
I have cousins and aunts and uncles who are Trump supporters. Yeah.
And you guys can get along, you just don't talk about it, or you have some good arguments?
I've had, it depends on the relative. There's a couple relatives I've had some really good conversations with, and then other relatives, we just don't talk about that. But a lot of them I don't see that often,
It's good that you can at least talk about it, right?
Yeah.
Instead of throwing things or...
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Well, that's good.
I think there's a big difference between different types of Trump supporters, and I think that working class Trump supporters versus some of the real issue, which is what I'm seeing here in DC. I think there's a big difference between that, and I think we need to focus on helping the working class so that they aren't brainwashed and undermined by people like Trump more in the future.
Biden has done so many things for young people, the student debt and all the things he's involved in now, the education, FAFSA, all of those things. They realize they're really hurting themselves if they vote against Biden. And I think we do need the energy of young people, and so I hope we can harness it, because that's our future.
I saw a video with AOC on social media the other day, and she had a good point. She's like, it does matter who's in the presidency, and it does matter who's in Congress and all, but the biggest social changes and the biggest improvements in life come from movements, from people movements. And so like the labor movement, what's going on like with the pro-choice community having to address Dobbs and everything, that's where the biggest changes are going to be made. The climate change movement. So for young people, getting involved, finding out what issue is your passion and getting involved in that, that's the biggest way you're going to make change.
I did not vote for him in the primary. I'm still considering what I'm going to do in the general election, but if I vote for Biden, it will not be enthusiastically. There's no chance I'm voting for Trump, and if I vote for anyone, I guess that it'll be Biden.
Job. Is he older than I wish? Yeah, I wish he were younger, but I wouldn't change one thing about what he's done. Gaza has been a heartbreaker. It really has, and I do think if I had something to change, I think he let that go too long, but he is changing now, and I think people overrate the amount of power he has. He can't just tell Bibi to stop. Bibi's in the same boat as Trump. If he is out of office, he goes to jail. So he's going to keep that war going as long as he can. And it's not like Biden can go like this and make him stop.
That's a tough one. I've thought about it. I feel like I'll still vote, but I don't know yet. Definitely won't be voting for Trump, for sure.
For young people, have patience and really think it through. I used to be a one-issue voter. I think for me, abortion was just it, But if you really think it through and you realize what it would mean to have a Trump presidency, I also want to say, if you can't bring yourself to vote for Biden, vote Democratic down ballot. Get those Republicans out of Congress. They are hurting you every day. So, leave Biden blank, but don't give him a Republican Congress again. Give him a Democratic down ballot, because then you're talking about local judges. Hello. Just keep voting all the way to the bottom, Democrat.
Well, thank you very much, guys, for talking to us. I love that tomorrow's going to be 210 for you. Well, thank you so much, River, for chatting with us today. We're Open Road Chats. We appreciate your time.
Awesome.